Tubu fighters are preparing for battle. The Tubus are the black minority who populate southern Libya. Recently, tensions have flared up between them and Arab tribes. These men are launching an operation to evacuate the wounded from the town of Kufra. They tell us Tubu neighborhoods there have been under siege.
We're ready to face up to all the fighters we come across, and God willing, we will win. And we'll get out all the injured people who are trapped there.
We're in Rabiana, the last village before Kufra. Kufra is an ethnically mixed town, but one of the gateways to the Tubu territory. It's 150 kilometers away across the desert. Accurate combat information filters back slowly. Tribal leader Yahya counts 50 people killed in ethnic violence and 170 wounded.
Our neighborhoods are surrounded. Water and electricity have been cut off, and injured people are trapped inside. There are even dead bodies which haven't been buried yet, and we haven't got a proper morgue. There's no electricity for that. The situation is disastrous.
4 militia pickup trucks head off for their perilous mission. Many of these fighters are new to war. The youngest is just 12 years old.
I'm not afraid.
No, he's not afraid. We'll be safe.
God willing, we, the young Tubus, will win.
They head off to try and force their way in. We never see them again. These accounts of deadly ethnic violence sound eerily familiar. We head west across the Sahara to the city of Sabah, the other flashpoint town in southern Libya. In April, some 50 people died in clashes here. Hassan Musa, a powerful Tubu militia leader, warns that this fighting is just the beginning.
Civil war in Libya has already started. Right now, alliances are being forged between tribes. There is no state in Libya right now. The tribes are governing. With whom can we negotiate? Negotiation isn't part of the Libyan culture. Either way, there'll be a winner and a loser. Either you make sure your rights are respected by force, or you get crushed.
In this Tubu neighborhood of Sabah, scars of the fighting are everywhere. The streets are pockmarked by machine gun and mortar damage. Ahmed and his family fled Sabah after the violence. He's come back to inspect the state of their home.
Look at this damage from the shooting, the bullet holes. There's so many. Look, and here you can see down here and right through the wall up there. A rocket came through here. It fell on top and landed on the ground here. There, that was a Rafale. Look, the car was hit as well.
This attack cost Ahmed's brother his life. He was killed by a shard of shrapnel.
He'd been hit in the head. He was just lying there. He was only 24 years of age.
The neighborhood is now largely deserted. Hundreds of families have fled further south to safety. The anger, the tensions between black and Arab Libyans around here dates back decades. Gaddafi had a grand scheme to move thousands of Arabs to the south to populate the cities. He invested billions and was still building thousands of houses when the revolution broke out. Now, the power vacuum has caused old rivalries to resurface. In Hajira, another Tubu neighborhood of Sabah, the mosque is packed out. An Arab resident is accused of being behind the recent ethnic violence. He's come to have his say at what becomes an impromptu trial.
There have never been problems with us. We are good people. I belong to the Ganor family, and we have never killed, beaten or harassed anyone. The problems that happened, that was nothing to do with us.
Only God knows really exactly what happened. All we know is that they had a plan and attacked us.
After half an hour of heated exchange, Mohammed has convinced local leaders.
We'd accused him of burning our houses, but he came to talk to us, and now we considered that he's innocent.
They'd accused me of being behind the trouble here, but I'm completely innocent. People came from outside the town and did all this to create problems and tensions between us and the Tubus. It doesn't add up, because we've been living together like brothers for 30 years.
The head of the Hajira neighborhood takes us to see the damage. According to him, armed men attacked the area, setting fire to houses and causing residents to flee. He accuses Libyan authorities of being mixed up in the violence.
The people in Sabah attacked for reasons we just don't understand. They killed people, set fire to houses. I believe they were acting for the government. They were a mix of military men and civilians.
Hajira is a slum. Its inhabitants live in poverty. An example, they say, of how the Tubus were neglected during the 42 years of Gaddafi's rule. He even stripped many Tubus of their citizenship after an uprising in 2009.
We were marginalized compared to the other Libyans. We were under constant pressure. We were denied our rights. You can see that the population here is tired out. We're hoping now the situation will improve following the revolution.
In post-revolution Libya, the Tubus are determined to take their slice of power. This checkpoint just outside Sabah marks the entrance to Tubu territory.
We're securing our state for our citizens. We're here right from Sabah to the south.
Tubu militias fought as rebels during the revolution. Today, they're still not integrated into the National Army, but they control a vast swathe of land stretching across Libya's south, a zone rich in water and petrol reserves. Tubu brigades patrol Libya's southern border, its frontier with Chad and Niger. This militia's headquarters are a former Gaddafi base seized during the uprising, complete with a stock of weapons, and all well beyond the reach of central government in Tripoli.
We're Tubus here. We control the border here at the moment, from east to west. It's very important. It's our land, ours. We can't just give it away.
The south of Libya is a paradise for smugglers. Weapons, drugs and immigrants flow through this strategically vital stretch of desert, a passageway between North Africa and the Sahel. Supply territory for the local wing of Al-Qaeda. Controlling it is a nightmare for authorities, and these days it's the job of the Tubus. They arrest, search and seize smugglers' cargoes. They show us a recently seized haul of drugs.
That's hashish. They smoke it. It comes from Mali. Then through Algeria, across the Niger border, to the Libyan border, then off to Egypt.
This bundle contains 30,000 euros of cannabis. The militiamen explain that the chests in this room are full of drugs, which they intend to burn. As for the drug smugglers, we're told they escaped. We head off with the militia on patrol. They claim they've still not been paid by Libya's new transitional government. Their weapons and vehicles once belonged to the Gaddafi regime. The brigade take us to an airbase now under their control, but there's not much to show, just one disused Gaddafi aircraft parked on the tarmac. The visit, though, is a chance to talk with the fighters about how they're financed.
There's a tax, a bit like a customs system. Out of 100 animals brought through, I'll take one, for example. And if a car comes through without merchandise, I'll take that. That's how we pay for things.
But we discover it's not just the traffic of weapons and drugs. The Tubus have inherited a large-scale humanitarian problem. They now have to police the massive flow of illegal immigrants hoping to make it to Europe.
Sometimes we arrest 300 people, sometimes 400, sometimes 500 people. And we do that all under our own means. We don't get any help from the state.
In limbo, waiting to be sent home, The migrants are parked in camps, not under lock and key, but miles out in the desert, in the searing hot sun. At the time of filming, the militias were holding 850 men here, the only solution they'd found.
We are not allowed to leave. All we are asking for now is freedom. They should send us back or let us go in. Either of the two, instead of just keeping us here doing nothing.
27-year-old Tope has travelled more than 3,000 kilometres from Nigeria. He claims to work and eventually head home.
They give each person blankets, 1 to 1, each person to 1. This is the kind of water we drink. This is where we sleep and everything. Even in the prison, prisoners, they don't suffer like this. I guess prisoners, they don't suffer like this. They eat good food, they eat what they're supposed to eat at the right time, sleep when they're supposed to sleep. But in this place, things are done the other way around. So I guess this is not even the deportation camp. This is just a place where we suffer.
Every morning and evening, the migrants are served the same rice dish to eat. Food paid for by the militias and the local population.
They're arrested, they're detained, they're under our control. But if things continue like this and the state doesn't help us, I don't know, I think we'll probably have to let them go.
It's a humanitarian time bomb. The Tubus are pressing for financial help from their government and from Europe too. But for now, it's a makeshift arrangement where laws don't apply. To try and keep control, the militia have seized the migrants' paperwork.
I'm keeping the passports to make sure they don't run away. If they had their passports, they'd definitely try and escape.
At sunset, the migrants pray, no doubt for a brighter future. In this uncertain, lawless land, it's not clear who'll be making the decisions about their fate. The government in Tripoli will have to negotiate with the Tubu tribe over who's in control. For now, though, they remain the masters of the south.